Hello, welcome to this webinar. We're going to give just 30 seconds or so for folks to trickle in. I see the number going up, so we'll get started in just a second. Okay, I think I'm seeing the number level off. Yeah, it's climbing steadily. I like this. Welcome, everyone. All right, there's a minute after. We'll go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar on the opportunities for supporters of DOE's integrated lighting campaign. My name is Axel Pearson. I'm coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah. Just as the title suggests, this webinar is intended for supporters of the campaign. And if you're not sure what that is, we'll cover it and much more. So thank you all so much for joining. I hope this is informative for you. So glad to have you all listening in. Before we jump in, let's cover some logistics. Next slide, please. So the slides and recording will be posted shortly after the webinar on the Better Buildings Solutions Center website. If you'd like to navigate there now, go to betterbuildingssolutioncenter.energy.gov, hover over events and webinars, and then click on demand webinars. From there, you can click on lighting under the technology field, and then you can find this webinar and many more that we've done. I highly recommend you peruse that. Next, we are trying something new today. Well, I should say I am trying something new today. We're going to use Slido for polls and question and answer. Full disclosure, I have not used this before. My colleagues swear by it, so we're going to give it a go. We're going to try it out. Anna, if you don't mind taking us to the next slide so we can test it out. All right, so go to slido.com on your smartphone or in a new window. We've got a test poll there for you. Enter the event code, pound or hashtag DOE. I'll give you a minute to do that. And the question is, where are you joining us from today? Oh, good. I see participants typing. This is a good sign. Nice. Some folks are coming in. Oregon. Nice. Ooh, I love seeing Portland just jump up. Maybe it's Portland, Oregon. Could be Portland, Maine. Yes. Okay. I see a couple participants typing. Oh, they came in. All right, let's go ahead and close this. So that got us used to it. Welcome, Portlanders, and everyone else. Glad to have you here. So yes, enter your questions into Slido. You should be able to do that. And then at the end, I will review them. And if I can't answer them, or I don't get to all of them in time, I will be sure to follow up with you via email. And you can always reach out to us at integratedlighting@pnl.gov with any other questions or comments. So don't hesitate to shoot me an email there as well. So here is the agenda for today. We just got through a quick introduction. I'm going to give you an overview of the integrated lighting campaign. We have a special guest with us here today, a member of the ILC Organizing Committee, the Design Lights Consortium, or DLC, and we'll hear from them in a few slides. I'll go through the recognition categories, both for participants and supporters, but we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on participants. I'll tell you a bit about who we recognized last year, tell you about the timeline for this year, and then we'll get to that Q&A and discussion session. I don't imagine we're going to go the full hour today, so I hope we have ample time. I've said that before and been wrong. So let's see how well we can get through this. All right, next slide, please. So first, let's cover some campaign basics. Technology campaigns, they are market transformation strategies. They're collaborative programs designed to help speed the adoption of energy saving technologies and also build trust that these things actually work and they actually save energy. The target stakeholders are typically building owners and managers who are open to adopting these new technologies early, kind of ahead of their time. They're leaders and trailblazers. For example, a building owner realizes they're due for a lighting upgrade and they want to integrate their lighting with the HVAC system. Those building owners would help demonstrate real world savings and benefits of that technology, and we recognize them for it. However, it is not just the buildings that install the lighting. There are other organizations that are critical to the success of market transformation, and they provide resources, they help along the way, and this campaign has a special category to recognize them as well. We are here today to talk about them. So as you can see on this slide, we follow somewhat of a handy formula. If we put together resources with technical assistance and recognition, then we get accelerated adoption, and it's been working for us pretty well so far. So that is their goal here with the integrated lighting campaign, and that's the technology we focus on. Next slide. All right, now we know what a technology campaign is, and now we know the integrated lighting campaign recognizes installations of, yes, again, you guessed it, integrated lighting. In this sense, the term integrated means that the lighting system can communicate with other building systems to enhance their overall building performance. There's energy benefits, there's non-energy benefits, there's all sorts of good things that happen when those systems work together. So needless to say, today's lighting has come a long way from basic LED retrofits. It can work with the rest of the building to achieve those deeper energy savings at the building level, again, by exchanging, or for example, by exchanging information with the HVAC system, controllable plug loads, or even broader than the building level by communicating with the electrical grid. There's a bunch of opportunities for integration with the lighting system. And that's because the lighting and the lighting sensors hold some really valuable real estate in the building ceilings. And this means they have kind of a bird's eye view of the space, which is a really important perspective for collecting information, all types of information. They have the ability to relay that information to other building systems like occupancy, ambient light, temperature, humidity, location of assets, all those things that buildings want to know about. And while this campaign is especially interested in those integrated systems, there are still advanced lighting and control systems that we're hoping to capture as well. Advanced systems and controls really that go beyond the norm. They improve lighting performance. They're definitely still of interest to the campaign, and we'd love to hear how these systems are going beyond basic occupancy, daylighting, and scheduling approaches. In particular, installations where those sensors and controls enable deeper operational savings or create an enhanced occupant lighting experience. So that could be luminaire lighting level controls, also known as LLLC, or white tunable systems that have a positive effect on the circadian system, that type of thing. So these are all important aspects to lighting, and through the ILC, we hope to learn about them and recognize some of these innovative lighting projects as well as the supporters that get them there. Next slide, please. So there are some different partners within the campaign that I'll be talking about today, and I want to be sure that we're all straight on each one. So at the top of the slide here, we have the organizers or the organizing committee. They are our primary planning and management team. They help by providing guidance to the integrated lighting campaign. They support our outreach efforts. And each of their organizations have an alignment with and interest in our campaign. They review all the submissions for recognition, and they ultimately decide who gets recognized. Their logos are at the bottom of each slide here. I won't read each one, but you can see them there. And we actually, like I said, have one with us today, so we'll hear from them in a minute. Next, look at the bottom of this slide. Participants are the ILC. Participants of the ILC are the adopters of the technology, like building owners, facility managers, anyone overseeing the use of the technology in a building. They're the ones that get recognized for projects. And I'm going to be hosting another webinar next week where I'll get more into the participant. But today, the focus is on the supporters. The supporters are organizations that deliver value to a building owner or end user, whether it be products or services, electricity, incentives, something else entirely. They could be energy efficiency organizations, manufacturers, utilities, implementers, or consultants. Again, the supporters play a key role in market transformation and in this campaign's success by helping promote the ILC and identify projects that could be a good fit for recognition, and we recognize them themselves. So that's what we're talking about today. Next slide. Before we get into that, here we are. Here's our special guest. I mentioned that we have a member of the organizing committee on the call. So it is my pleasure to introduce Lonnie Malapan, who is here representing the Design Lights Consortium. Lonnie is DLC's manager of member services, and she's going to tell us a bit about the DLC and how they contribute to the ILC and the overall adoption of advanced lighting controls. So Lonnie, take it away.
Thanks, Axel. And thanks everyone for having me today. I'm sure some of you might be familiar with the DLC, Design Lights Consortium, but we are a nonprofit organization who's committed to improving energy efficiency for commercial lighting and making a positive climate impact. So we do this through the development of our technical requirements. We maintain lists of qualified products and systems. We publish research on the savings potential of LEDs and controls, and we develop other educational resources to promote the installation of LEDs and controls. So none of this is done in a vacuum. We are a consortium, and we encourage input and feedback from our members, manufacturers, and other lighting professionals to ensure that we're promoting the right performance criteria and control strategies that save energy and keep up with the pace of technology. So it's our goal to provide a trusted, impartial assessment of the industry's highest performing lighting products and systems to boost consumer trust and adoption of the technologies that save the most energy. Next slide, please. Sorry, one more. So the DLC has been an organizer and supporter of the integrated lighting campaign since December of 2019. In 2021, we were actually recognized for our work to drive adoption of connected lighting solutions through the development of our network lighting controls technical requirements, the qualified products lists, and the success of our online and in-person trainings, and then also the savings reports that we published. So all of this work that we were recognized for did help support our members' programs, and I'll get into who our members are in a minute. But all of this work helped to allow them to more easily verify rebates, to promote and increase their trade allies' knowledge of the technology, and also maximize the savings that they were able to claim. In addition to DLC being recognized, we also encouraged and worked with 4 of our members to submit for recognition themselves. So it was Consumers Energy, Seattle City Light, Con Edison, and Excel Energy. They were all recognized for the success that they were seeing with their lighting controls programs at the time. Next slide, please. So our members are utility and energy efficiency programs and regional energy efficiency organizations throughout the US and Canada that require DLC listed products for rebate eligibility. So in addition to our members, there are many other lighting rebate programs that also require DLC listed products in order to receive rebates on lighting and controls. So our QPLs are actually a very valuable resource for all of these programs. And to support them, we evaluate thousands of LED lighting products each month through a robust application review process. Programs really with this review process can be confident that the products that they're providing rebates for will save energy, meet the quality, reliability, safety requirements, and provide their customers with a wide selection of lighting options for the projects that they have, which could be installed pretty much anywhere in offices, healthcare facilities, schools, retail stores, controlled environmental agriculture, and more. So while the qualified products lists are publicly available, the DLC is a nonprofit, and we rely on the contributions of our members to support our work and ensure that we're also creating requirements that best support their program's needs, so that they are able to maximize the savings. So if you know of any rebate programs that require DLC listed products that might be interested in joining our membership, you can contact me, contact the DLC. The more representation that we have from a variety of utilities and programs, the bigger the impact that we'll be able to make in promoting the installation of LEDs and controls. Next. So this is one of my last slides here, but I'd just like to share a few quick points on how the DLC's programs promote energy savings and the use of lighting controls in our 4 main program areas. So we have solid state lighting, network lighting controls, horticultural lighting, and Luna. So starting with solid state lighting, our program achieves greater energy savings through higher efficacy products, unlocks additional energy savings, and improves occupant satisfaction by mitigating issues with overlighting and glare. Our program identifies products with integral control sensors and capability, which provides additional energy savings and flexibility. Products deliver color appearance that is less likely to shift over time, and identifies products that may be compatible with various lighting control systems based on the communication type and protocol. Our network lighting controls program defines interior and exterior systems and their control strategies that make it easy to find the right system for any project needs. Not going to go through the full list here, but DLC listed network lighting control systems must include capabilities such as occupancy sensing, daylight harvesting, high-end trim, zoning, continuous dimming, cybersecurity, and energy monitoring. Those are some of the big ones. And then systems may also indicate if they are capable of scheduling, device monitoring, or remote diagnostics, luminaire level lighting controls, plug load control, and emergency lighting. Again, that's just a selection of what's available. You can refer to our technical requirements for a full list. We recently released a new technical requirements version for our horticultural LED lighting program, which increased the minimum efficacy another 21%, which means that DLC listed products for horticultural lighting are 35% more efficacious than incumbent HID light sources. The new technical requirements also requires or reports the product's application information. So this provides users with the intended controlled environment and lighting scheme. And it also requires product level controllability. This enables additional energy savings, promotes interoperability, and it'll lay the groundwork for future demand response systems and programs. And finally, our Luna requirements is a new offering, which is of particular interest to cities and municipalities that have an outdoor lighting ordinance or policy, or those that are maybe looking to adopt one. It is a subset of our solid state lighting technical requirements, which establishes criteria for using the highest quality outdoor lighting at night to minimize energy use and light pollution, provide appropriate visibility for people, and limit the negative impacts to the environment. So Luna has additional, beyond the SSL technical requirements, Luna has additional dimming and controls and shielding requirements to ensure efficient use of lighting energy, and has requirements for light distribution, CCT, and dimming controls to ensure that less light is scattered into the atmosphere, reducing light trespass and sky glow. We also recently published a separate resource called The 7 Strategies to Minimize Negative Impacts of Outdoor Light at Night, which highlights the importance of using controls. It's an important strategy there. So for more details on each of these programs, you're welcome to go to our website and find more information under our work in the main menu. And you can also check out our other resources too, just by clicking the resources tab from our menu. Next. So just to wrap up here, we're happy to answer any questions that you have, and you can contact us by emailing info@designlights.org. And we also encourage you to subscribe to our mailing list to receive monthly newsletters and any notices on upcoming webinars and events that we have. So thank you very much for listening, and I will pass things back to Axel.
Thank you, Lonnie, and thanks for your continued support of the campaign. Okay, let's take a moment to have another poll to see who we've got on the call. So which of the following best describes the organization you represent? You should see a poll coming up from Slido. Okay, now we're moving a little bit. Nice. Okay, kind of looks like we've leveled off there. Great. Oh, there's another one. Okay. Energy efficiency organizations and other. Let me know who you are in the chat if you're an other. Be interested to know. But either way, no matter who you are, thank you for joining today. Oh, we still got another one in. Okay. Awesome. Let's go ahead and move on. Thanks for answering that poll. All right, so I would like to tell you about the categories in which participants and supporters can be recognized. This means if you go to submit for recognition, either as a participant or supporter, you will have to choose one or more of these categories, and then you really make the case for yourself why you should be organized, so or recognized. Let's take a look. Next slide. Thank you. So these are existing participant categories, meaning they really haven't changed since last year, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time here today, but I will next week. So if you see something here that catches your eye, you can look on the ILC website, or you can tune in next week for more information on these. But so briefly, we've got advanced use of sensors and controls, which captures many of the submissions and covers things like LLLC, networks lighting controls, white tunable lighting, other innovative approaches to controls. Bit of a catch-all category there. The next three are separate categories, all dealing with integrating lighting with other building systems, one for plug loads, one for HVAC, and other systems. So within the integrated category, that other system is kind of a catch-all for any type of integration with the lighting and building systems. Then we have horticultural lighting, and innovative maintenance, operation, and financing service models. Next slide. The next are 4 new participant categories for 2023. And again, I'm going to just breeze through these. There's also a webinar that I did back in November last year that covers these in more detail. So that's available there if you want to learn more before next week. But our first new category is specifically focused on small buildings, which we define as buildings smaller than 50,000 square feet. Really, we wanted to provide a path to recognition for the smaller spaces, knowing that it's kind of hard to compare a mom and pop store with a big box store, just as an example. Next, we have a category for germicidal ultraviolet systems, or GUV, for energy savings and indoor air quality. A hot topic right now, and we want to highlight projects that have successfully deployed energy efficient GUV systems in buildings to reduce the spread of airborne pathogens and improved indoor air quality. Then there is the sustainability and lighting, and this is where we're looking for projects that have successfully minimized their environmental footprint and impact across the product lifestyle. Finally, the last new category, and again, this is a participant category, is for energy justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion in advanced lighting. So there is a similar supporter category for this topic as well. I'm going to talk more about it on the next slide. But each of these new categories have more explanation examples on our website. If you'd like to talk through any of these, or you have a project that might fit into one of them, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to talk it through with you and see where you best fit. Okay, next slide. So we are going to talk about the supporter recognition categories. Supporters, of course, can be recognized for encouraging the use of advanced lighting controls and technologies that facilitate integration with lighting and other building systems. So this is an exemplary supporter, and it could be an innovative utility program that designed to incentivize adoption of advanced lighting and integrated lighting systems. These are some of the utilities that Lonnie mentioned that were recognized in 2021. It could be ILC partner recruiting through newsletters, webinars, blogs, or other avenues that support the ILC and its goals. It could be referrals of ILC partner joins that might be recommending to a customer or a partner of yours that a project that you worked on should submit for recognition. And then also it could be technical assistance provided to for the development of the recognition submissions on behalf of ILC partners. So all of these things and more, these are just examples. The submission form, as you will see in a few slides, is really pretty open-ended. Just you tell us your story about how you support advanced controls and lighting integrated with other building systems, and we'll do the rest and kind of take your story, and we'll work with you a little bit more to flesh that out. So on to our next supporter category. So continuing for its second year, but slightly revised, we have a category to recognize exemplary supporters that also support energy justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We want to recognize supporters that demonstrate successful efforts to deploy advanced or integrated lighting solution in underserved communities, or support projects in diverse communities and minority-owned businesses. So some examples include offering high-quality jobs that are accessible to those in disadvantaged communities, prioritizing accountability to local communities by signing community benefits agreements, showing a thoughtful and considered JDEI approach to company level plans and protocols, or increasing access to low capital in disadvantaged communities. So ultimately, we would really like to see supporters that work with and represent the communities they exist in, disadvantaged communities, and bring the benefits of advanced lighting to the people that need it most. We do have a recognized participant from 2022 as a EJDEI champion, and I'll tell you a little bit about what they did in a couple slides. Next slide, please. So here is a summary of our participant recognitions from this last year in 2022. We had a total of 15 recognized participants. You can see that most were recognized for that advanced sensors and controls, but also a pretty good spread among the other categories, with the exception of integrated controls for plug loads. That was a little disappointing last year. I'm really hoping we can find more plug load projects this year. So let us know if you have one. And you can see that we had a really good range of participant organizations, from manufacturing, higher ed, greenhouses, long-term care facilities. There's a co-working space in there. There's 2 car dealerships and more. So all of these various buildings were able to install LED lighting and controls to save a bunch of energy and improve their spaces while doing it. Next slide, let's take a look at the supporter recognition. So I mentioned one of our supporters was the JDEI champion. So that was McWong International, and they were recognized as the diversity, equity, and inclusion champion. More than 50% of their workforce, US-based workforce, are from Asian, South Asian, or Hispanic ethnicities, and nearly 70% of its US-based workforce are from underserved and underrepresented communities. They are a recognized Women's Business Enterprise National Council as a women-owned business and recognized by the National Minority Supplier Development Council as a minority-owned business. So they were recognized for their efforts in advanced lighting and their efforts towards diversity, equity, and inclusion. They also brought us a couple projects in to be recognized. Next, our another exemplary supporter from 2022 is Puget Sound Energy. For 5 years, PSE has promoted and provided incentives to customers to install LLC luminaires. As of 2022, they had incentivized more than 75 projects with over 11,000 LLC luminaires installed in manufacturing, offices, warehouses, retail, workshops, and school spaces, resulting in over 2 million kilowatt hours saved from controls alone. So that was a really impressive utility program that was focused on advanced controls, and they were recognized for it. Finally, our final recognized supporter from last year was Resource Innovation Institute. RII promotes advanced lighting systems like horticultural lighting and controls and automated systems. They publish free, brand agnostic, and peer-reviewed best practice guides, host live educational workshops nationally and specialized for regions with active CEA or controlled environment agriculture markets. And they also encouraged 3 of their partners to submit for recognition, 2 of which were recognized. So that was really great. So these were our 3 supporters from last year. Hopefully that you're familiar with these, and if not, now you are. So this is a good example of one of the main benefits of recognition. Let's go to the next slide and kind of see how we promote some of our recognized participants. So again, one of the main benefits of being recognized is that we do a lot to promote your organization. We set up DOE email blasts, social media announcements. We've done case studies in the past. This last year, we created infographics like this one you see here. They can be used as website banners. They give key details of the project, like the lighting system features and capabilities, energy saved, and other successes. They also highlight the supporters of the project. As you can see, Amoresco is highlighted here for the Chicago Smart Lighting Program. We also produce videos of the projects where the participants can tell their own story of their projects in their own words. So as I mentioned, these 2 screenshots are a preview from the Chicago Smart Lighting Program, who undertook a massive streetlight modernization project, converting more than 280,000 high-pressure sodium streetlights to high-efficiency LED lights with advanced controls. Again, we recognize them for that. We highlighted their project supporter, and we host these on our website and send them out far and wide. Next slide, please. Recognized partners are also invited to attend an event where we present their projects and efforts and offer them a certificate of recognition. Last year's event was at the 2022 IES Annual Conference in New Orleans, Louisiana. Here's a few pictures of from the event. We had a really great turnout. I really hope to keep going in 2023. I think the event this year is in Chicago, so I hope to see some of you there. That would be great. Okay, next slide, please. All right, surely by now I've convinced you to get involved with the campaign. I've mentioned some of the things that you as a supporter can do to help the campaign. First and foremost, you can sign up as a supporter on our website. It's easy and free. You get logos to show your ILC pride. And honestly, it's really helpful when supporters promote the ILC through their newsletters and social media. It really helps grow our network. When people join the campaign, there's an area to say, how did you learn about the campaign? And a lot of them do say, oh, I got it from DLC's newsletter, or the California Energy Alliance had a presentation on it. So again, super helpful. You can also help identify projects and encourage them to submit for recognition. We kind of talked about this. If you know of a project and want some help reaching out, let me know. I'm happy to send you material. I'd have a call with them to tell them about the campaign, anything I can do to help support, new projects and recognize some of these lighting projects that we've talked about in these categories. Next slide. So, of course, there are benefits when it comes to being a supporter as well. We do provide an opportunity for visibility of your organization through our website, newsletters, mentions and case studies that are developed for the recognized participants. The webinars like this one, where I get to talk about your organization and the great stuff you do. And given that the goal of the campaign is to increase adoption of energy saving systems, that probably means increased sales or reduce energy use in your utility district, some other value added outcome for your organization. That's the whole point. So we hope to provide some recognition to the supporter types for their efforts to help the adoption of technology in the interest of ILC or helping the ILC efforts. So lastly, I mentioned that the supporter logo is available for you and registered supporters to demonstrate your support of the ILC. You can promote the ILC and we link you on our website. There's a whole page. If you go to our website under supporters, you can see everyone that is a supporter. It links right to your website. So there's another avenue for traffic there. Okay, next slide. There are also resources for everyone involved in the campaign, whether you're a supporter or not. These are free resources. The ILC website serves as a resource for things like reports and case studies from the national labs and other third-party organizations. There's information on utility incentive lists that can help provide financial support for those taking on the advanced lighting projects. We link to a lot of DLC's materials. Webinars and training videos like this one are listed on there, along with topic relevant videos and case studies, all right there available on the website. So I encourage you, if you haven't been there yet, check out our website under the resources section. Okay, it's time for another poll. Let's go to the next slide. All right, now that you know a little bit about the campaign, what do you think? You have some options. Nice, good first answer there. I'd be happy if that was our only one, but I know there's more out there. Okay, then now they're rolling in. If you need more info, let me know. There's another webinar, like I said, next week. There's a lot of information on our website. You can reach out to me directly. So far, no one's ready for lunch, which is surprising, but be honest. Okay, starting to level off with the highest answer. I need some more info, so let's do that. Well, I have a couple more slides and then we'll get into discussion. So I do have some questions for you. You can add questions in there that I will do my best to answer. So let me get through, I think, just 2 or 3 more slides, and then we should have plenty of time to talk about it. All right, here's the timeline for this year. So it officially began in September, where we did some promotion, announcement of those new recognition categories. The submission process opened around the new year, and it is still open right now. The recognition submission process closes at the end of March 31st. So we've got about a month and a half to make those submissions. The team here at PNNL and DOE, our organizing committee, will review all of those submissions. We commit to making the notifications of selections made by June 30th. This means just letting those organizations know that they're recognized or not. And then recognition is conferred and announced at the 2023 IES annual conference. Somewhere between August 3rd and the 5th, we will be sure to let you know when we know what date that our event will fall on, but we don't know that quite yet, still TBD. Okay, next slide. So if you'd like to submit for recognition, stop by our website. under the recognition tab, you'll see a link to submit for recognition. On that page, you can select how you'd like to submit, either as a participant or supporter. And then once you make that selection, next slide, these two forms pop up. And so this is what these submission forms look like. So once you select that category, the fields open up. This is the key part of the submission. There's really just two boxes. Tell us the story of your project or your efforts as a supporter and how it fits into the recognition categories. You can provide us supporting data, such as the number of buildings impacted, maybe you're a utility program, the total number of projects incentivized, or the resources that you provide, any technical assistance that you do, energy savings measured, that type of thing. So it's a pretty simple, streamlined submission process. And once you submit, we work with everyone who submits for recognition. And we have a call and we kind of work with you to a little more closely to learn about the submission. So provide what you can here. And again, it's really about telling us the story. And yeah, okay. So I think that's it. That was my last slide. So now I want to get on to some question and answers. So I think we can pull up Slido. I'm going to look through your questions, but I also have questions for you. So you can enter these responses into Slido. What else would you like to see from the ILC? What would help you support the ILC? What would make being a supporter more valuable to you? And how can we better recognize supporters? If you have another question that I should be asking, let us know. You feel free to enter your questions into Slido. Again, if you're not there, join at slido.com, pound or hashtag DOE. And I think Anna's going to help bring up the next screen and I can see some questions. No questions yet. Wow. Okay. Well, if there's no questions, there was a number of you that said, I need more info. So tell me, what more info do you need? Or answer these questions. What else would you like to see from the ILC? What would help you support the ILC? What would make being a supporter more valuable to you? Like, what is the best way we can promote your organization if you're a recognized supporter? And how can, I guess that was the last question. How can we better recognize supporters? How long does an application typically take? So again, if we think back to that timeline slide, applications are due March 31st. We will let any recognized participants know by June 30th. So that is April, May, June, 3 months. But like I said, in that time, we kind of reach out to folks, we have a call, we talk a little bit more, and often that's when a lot of the good juicy details come out, is kind of in those calls. I'd like more information on utility incentives for integrating lighting controls. Great. I suggest you reach out to our friend Lonnie Malapan at the DLC. They have resources such as member program summaries. They tell you any utility that is a DLC member across the country. You can look at who offers incentives and what type of incentives they offer, what the system needs. So yeah, check that out, designlights.org, and go to their networked lighting controls area, their website. Lonnie, if you're still around, maybe can we drop that link in the chat, or if you want to say something else? Yeah, hey.
I would also say, if you're looking for incentives for yourself, that you can start with your local utility. And I don't know where exactly to drop it, but if you have specific questions or can't find something, I did put the general DLC email, the info@designlights.org. But you can always email that and I can connect you with the right stuff.
Nice. Okay. Thanks, Lonnie. All right. I am a manufacturer and I think I have a good project. Can I submit for my site? Yes, you definitely can. So keep in mind that a manufacturer kind of falls under the supporter category. If you want to submit for your site, you would be submitting on behalf of the participant. That is the organization that actually owns and installs, or rather just owns the lighting. So you have the ability to be recognized as a manufacturer if that project gets recognized. If you submit on behalf, you're also very eligible for supporter recognition. So the answer is yes, definitely go to our website or reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk about your project and get it submitted. Yeah, great. Okay, case studies are valuable. I agree. What's the process for recognized supporter case studies and how long does it take? So case studies, so I'll give some context. In 2021, we did a lot of case studies. In 2022, we did those infographics, and that's kind of what I showed you. There's a few on our website now, but the slide that I had was the Chicago Smart Lighting Program. We did, it was more graphical than a case study, but we also have one in the works for PSE, who is our recognized supporter, the utility program. And so that one is not yet published, but we're working on it. So if we're still working on it now and it's February and they were recognized in August, boy, that sounds like a long time when I say it. That was 6 months, but we do try to work through those a little bit quicker. But yeah, right now we're looking at about that timeline. But we do get some others, we've had some others submitted a lot earlier. So it also depends on feedback. We often work closely with the supporter or participant. And the more information we can get quicker to develop that case study or the infographic, that kind of defines how long it takes. Thank you for those questions. Okay. We still have a little time, but I'm always a fan of ending some meetings a little early because I know we're all back to back these days. You'll just go back on Zoom for the next one. So if you have a question, you didn't get a chance to enter it in the Slido, shoot me an email, integratedlighting@pnnl.gov. That one goes straight to my inbox. I'm happy to chat with you and talk about your support or supporter recognition or a project that you work on. That would be great. Okay, I think that's the last one, right, Anna? Oh, one more. Okay, there we are. More links. I already said it twice. Integratedlighting@campaign.gov. Thank you so much for joining today. Thanks for your time. Tune in next week, same time next week, I think, for participants. So if you want to hear it again, join us again. It'll be a little different, but it's going to be mostly the same. So, okay, thanks everyone. Have a good rest of the day.